fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat. Or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I'm going to be working on my customized bookshelf. I am just starting this kit, so these will be the first drills that I've laid. I'll get into some other things about how this is going to go when I get to the diamond painting part. So let me zoom into where I'm going to be working, and I will be right back. So for this, I'm going to be using my Forever Young system, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of static in here. I don't remember there being that much static when I kitted this up, so I guess I'm just going to see how this goes. So this is going to be my first time using the Forever Young trays. You guys saw me kit this kit up. Now I'm going to see how it works for me to do like multi-placing and stuff with it. I've got my timer started, so we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure about the static, but everything else seems to be working okay. And definitely having the hinge on the back side is working out better already than it did when I had, what are they, the cat-eared trays, the tray brick trays, where the hinge was on the side. So this definitely feels easier to me. Okay, and I'm done with that color. I will say this hinge thing for me is a little bit weird, still a little bit awkward to open, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I need to jump into my life update and tell you what's been going on in my regular life. I don't remember exactly what was going on the last time I did a WIP and Chat, but I'm sure I told you guys that we were going to try and find a dog. We did take a trip to a nearby town to meet with the people who were fostering a dog that the rescue thought would be a good fit for us. After meeting the dog, I'm not really sure why they thought they would be a good fit. Size-wise, probably a good fit, but I think way too energetic for what we are looking for. Not that I mind taking the dog out for a walk or whatever, and we have a little fenced-in area and a big yard, so they would be able to get plenty of exercise, but we're getting older, and I don't think either one of us want to try and keep up with a dog that's going to be that energetic. Cute dog, super cute dog. Also, it's hard when you're meeting a dog. We thought she had just come up with the rescue with their last bus load, so we thought she'd only been here like a couple of days. No, she came up, I guess, closer to the beginning of the year. So she's been with that set of fosters since then. And so, of course, they're kind of her family. So while they were there, she didn't really want to have anything to do with us, which is understandable. But I told my husband it's just such a different experience. You know, generally when you go meet a dog at the shelter, it's just different. You're there on your own. They don't, I mean, the shelter volunteer might be near just to make sure everything goes okay and nothing happens, but it's kind of a one-on-one with you and the dog, if that makes sense. I just don't think we gelled. I think she's happier where she's at with the fosters. So she wasn't really interested in us at all, which is fine. Again, I think, and I've told my husband the same, and I told the lady that runs the shelter this, that to me it's more important to feel like the dog is choosing me. So I don't think that one was the one for us, but we're going to keep trying. There are several others that just came up that the lady from the shelter was telling us about, so hopefully we'll be able to meet some more and maybe find our permanent pup. Don't know what that's going to look like, but it will be interesting finding out. We had a good time taking a trip to this bigger city. I've never really been there before. I think we've driven through, but I've never really, we decided to like make a trip out of it. So we stayed the night and we drove around and saw some things and skipped a couple of things that I wanted to do because they just ended up being too touristy, which, I mean, I basically am a tourist at this point. I haven't been here long enough to be anything else, but just some things that I wanted to do. And it was like, when we get there, oh, I thought we could just go in and do this. No, it's been commercialized and now you got to pay and wait your turn and all this kind of stuff, which again is fine, but just not something we were wanting to do. So I got some more cool pictures driving around and seeing new places, although We had to drive on the highway to get where we were going because the city where we had to go to see the dog was about 3.5 hours away. Oh my gosh, construction everywhere. Every time we turned around, there was construction. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there because I think that's going to get you guys. I'll get off of the screen if I don't stop with that one. So far, I'm liking this system that I don't have to take things out and put them back in. Not thrilled with all the static, but maybe that's just because the boxes are new and maybe that will go away as I use them. Has anybody else had that experience where the very first time you used them, they were kind of gave the drills static? Because I don't remember having any static when I actually kitted up. I felt like everything poured into these really nicely. So the weather has been insane around here though. It's been hot and then cool and then hot and then cool. And of course, it's always been humid. So I don't know. I feel like the humidity being low is what causes the static. So I feel like with the high humidity, I shouldn't have any, but I most certainly do. And I got to learn where which section all of my little symbols are in. Also, it always amazes me, how do they decide what symbol they're going to use for what color? Like this green slash is 3371, which is like this really dark color. So why make it a green with white behind it? Because if I don't place my drills just right, then white shows through when it's supposed to be a dark color. I mean, I do appreciate that it makes the symbols clear, but I wish they would do more of them like they've done like the grays here, where you see the triangle and you can sort of almost see the circle around it, but it's all the same color basically. So if I don't place my drills perfectly, then it's okay. At least this one is a round, which means it's not going to be as tight as the last kit that I worked on, which was the Everyone is Welcome Here. Again, I appreciate the grid being tight, but man, I was about to pull my hair out with some of them because trying to get the drills to fit in where they were supposed to go was a bit of a struggle sometimes. Okay, so what else about my regular life? We took a trip, we stayed overnight, met the dog. Weather's been hot and humid. I don't know if we've all been sick or if something's just going on because the weather's been so crazy. The youngest has had 2 migraines. Then he tweaked his back doing something, he doesn't know what, so he's been pretty incapacitated most of the week. Then last night, or Friday night, hubby didn't feel good. And it only lasted for a couple of hours, but he like got the chills, and then he was sweaty. His stomach was upset, just didn't feel like himself. And then a couple hours later, he was fine. In the meantime, during one of those hours, I started feeling bad with the same symptoms. I was too hot, then I was too cold, clammy, sweaty. My stomach was upset, and I was like, did we eat something bad? And then, like, 2 hours later, fine. So I don't know if we just had the wrong thing. We did eat a bunch of junk while we were on our trip, so maybe that was part of it because we stopped at Tim Hortons, we stopped and got ice cream, we stopped at the bulk store and got some nuts and candies. Caramels are my weakness, so I got some sea salt caramels. And hubby likes to try different kinds of candy, zero sugar candy, but sometimes those don't always play nice with your system. He's usually pretty good about checking to make sure they don't have any sugar alcohols or anything in them that are going to give him a problem, but sometimes everything isn't always labeled as clearly as you would like either. So, but I didn't eat any of those and I was feeling not great, so who knows. So I hope everyone had a good Canada Day / 4th of July. It was actually kind of very low key here. I thought there'd be more celebrations for Canada Day. They don't really do fireworks and stuff here like they do in the US. I guess the nearest city, you can't set off fireworks individually within the city limits, so they usually do like a fireworks show, but there was a really high risk of fire, so they canceled the show, which was a little bit of a bummer, but I can understand them not wanting to set things on fire, so kind of weird because back home, people would start setting off fireworks like the 2nd, and they could set them off until like midnight on the 4th. Of course, there's always somebody who goes past the deadline or whatever, so even into the 5th, especially if the 4th is like a Saturday or a Sunday, because then people would usually have that Monday off. and people would be setting off all of their leftover stuff just to get it all used up. But we didn't hear anything. No fireworks around here, no city fireworks, no individual fireworks. So yeah, it was just kind of quiet, which for me is nice. I'm a homebody. I'm not really into fireworks and stuff. I mean, we did it when my kids were little just because, that's what you do. But as a grown up, not something I spend a lot of time doing. And all my siblings and nieces and nephews, I guess just nephews. I don't really have a niece. My sister only has 2 boys and my brother doesn't have kids. So I don't have any, I don't know, what do you call it? Other than nieces? Is there something that goes in front of them? First nieces, close nieces, immediate nieces, whatever. Anyway, you understand what I'm trying to say. Why was I talking about that? Oh, yeah, because when all the kids were younger, my sister's youngest boy is the youngest of all the siblings, of all the nieces and nephews, or niece and nephews, I guess. Anyway, God, I'm getting so off track here. When the kids were younger, we would set them off because the younger boys thought it was cool to blow things up. Anything to do with fire was exciting, or anything that made a lot of noise was exciting. But now they're older and they can go do that on their own. And now that they can do that on their own and mom and dad aren't paying for the fireworks, suddenly it's not as exciting because that's expensive. I'd rather save that money for Lego sets or Funko Pops or date night or whatever it is. Honestly, I always thought going to a fireworks show was more fun anyway because they could set off really big ones that you can't buy, and it was cooler to watch because they would set it to music or something. What else did we do? Oh, because we were in a big city, I did stop at a Michael's because they had a Michael's. Went in and I was excited because they had like a little end cap section of diamond paintings and they were on sale for 40% off. And I was like, oh, because that made them, I think, anywhere from like $12 to $30, and that's Canadian. But alas, as usual, even with 40% off, there wasn't really anything that I wanted to buy. They had a lot of ones that were basically like in frames already, which were cute, but just I'm not interested in doing little projects like that. I mean, I like small projects, but not that little. And most of the rest of them, I just was like, cute, but not cute enough for me to think that it was oh, I gotta have that one. So I left without buying anything, which my husband was amazed at. But again, just I feel like when I close those, stuff's gonna dump out, but it doesn't. So I guess I'll see what happens. Although the static in these is kind of crazy. Maybe I'll use these to test, do some of my static testing, even though I was planning to do it from the bags, but I guess I could do the same kind of testing. It doesn't really matter what they're in. So even though they're already in these Forever Young trays, I could do some testing with them. Maybe that's what I'll do. All right, anyway, I think that's all I needed to tell you about our trip to another city. The youngest. My goodness. So hubby had crawled underneath where our modem is, our modem slash router for our internet and television, because the same outlet had a cord that we needed to take with us to charge our electronics on the trip. So hubby got down there. We told the youngest we wouldn't be back that night. We were going to go ahead and stay in the city, do some other things while we were there after we saw the dog. So we get home the next day, and I go to turn the TV on after we've unpacked and everything, and it doesn't come on. And the youngest goes, well, TV doesn't work. What do you mean it doesn't work? Well, it doesn't work. I tried to turn it on last night, and it didn't work. And I said, well, hubby was down there last night unplugging and plugging stuff in. Did you check to see if it was still plugged in? Maybe it became unplugged. No. And I thought, what? Do some troubleshooting here, son. Hubby came in from outside because he'd been doing something outside. And I said, can you get down there and see if the TV's unplugged? Okay. Got down there, sure enough. Don't know what happened, but it became unplugged. So he plugged it back in, and ta-da, everything works now. Do I want to use the pixie dust? Sure, why not? It's not quite the same color, but just for this little section here, I'm going to go ahead and use it. I'm okay with them not being the same color. You'll never know. It'll be a little bit of extra light shine because this is the lightest color here. And then if there's a bigger section where I feel like it won't look good, I can always use those. But for this, that's the other thing I was going to say, because these trays, the drills are already in the tray. Every time I get ready to diamond paint, I'm like, oh, I need a tray. And then I get up here and I'm like, oh, I don't need a tray because everything is already in the tray. I love these pixie dust drills. I should go through and see how many I have that I haven't really used and see if I could do a spare drill project with them. See, I feel like that just gives it a little bit of extra shine, so from far away you won't really notice the difference in color, but right now I can see it and it's pretty. Anyway, so that was the end of our trip. We came home with no dog, darn it. But that's okay. I told hubby I figured we would need to meet a couple of dogs before we decided which one was the one for us, or they decided that they were ours. Anyway, okay, so that was pretty much my regular life. So then let's move on to my diamond painting life. What's been going on in my diamond painting life? Not as much as I would like this week. I did get some things finished, so I'm happy about that. If you saw yesterday's video, which if you didn't, go check it out. And also while you're checking it out, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you don't miss anything. But I finished my Everyone is Welcome Here kit. I was about pulling my hair out because the grid was so tight and it was squares. I tried to do the ABs first because it was easier to fit the regular drills in amongst the ABs than the other way around. But even at that, the grid was just so tight that sometimes it felt like every time I placed something, something else was popping out of place. But I got it finished and it looks really good, so I'm happy. Happy that I finished it. That was the kit that I was doing the testing of my art dot trays, so that will be a video hopefully coming out next week where I will share with you my thoughts on the art dot trays, what worked for me, what didn't work, and what I thought of them overall. So if you're interested in that, that will be coming out this week. I also need to do a goals update video. I think I did better on my goals in June than I did in May, but still not where I want to be. I don't know if July is going to be any better for me. We'll have to see how things go, but I'm trying to get kind of back into the swing of things. I think I'm still not quite, I don't want to say I don't believe it. It just doesn't quite feel real yet that we live here and we're going to be here permanently. I don't know why, but I'm working on it. So hubby and I have been doing some more home projects to kind of make the house more what we want, some painting, some decor, that kind of stuff. I'm rearranging some things the way that I've had them set up. So if I want to diamond paint upstairs or downstairs, things are kind of set up the way I want them without me having to continually run back and forth from one place to another because I've got things all spread out. So once I figure that out, and it will probably take me a month or so to get that all figured out, but once I get it figured out, then hopefully everything will go a lot smoother. On the upside, CFL football has started, which means hubby is watching football games, and Formula One has been racing, so he's watching races. So he's spending quite a bit of time in front of the TV, and when he does that, I spend quite a bit of time in front of my diamond painting. So I guess win-win. He gets to watch football and racing, and I get a diamond paint, so it's all good. It's also motorcycle season, which is not the best for me because apparently motorcycle engines are something that I can't edit out easily, which stinks because they are continually going by. So if I can't edit it out and there's an occasional rumble in the background, I apologize. So I finished Everyone is Welcome Here. So I'm moving on to, like I said, customized bookshelf. I want to move on to the Bella Art Blue that I opened, and I also want to move on to the Blue Girl that I opened. But the Blue Girl, I've got to deal with those red lines first. I got a lot of great suggestions from people about how to deal with those. Hubby and I have some ideas too, so I'm gonna kind of set it up as another little experiment, give it a go, and see if I can figure out what works and what doesn't. My original thought was mica powder, which I don't have and I'd have to buy some, but after thinking about it, it might work, but I have a feeling you'd have to put it on pretty thick to cover those red lines. especially in the light/white areas, which is, of course, where they're the worst. So I don't know that that's a good solution. Also, I don't want to buy 16 different colors of mica just for that one diamond painting, because you couldn't put white over like the dark colors and everything. It would look weird. So I've got to come up with a different solution. I'm crossing my fingers that some of my other less problematic ideas will work, but we'll see. So if you're interested in seeing how I deal with the red lines, then that video hopefully will be coming out soon, because I want to work on that kit. And I also want to work on the blue by Bella Art. Like I said, I need to get that one kitted up. I was kind of hoping that one was going to have static so I could do my static testing. But at this point, even if it doesn't, I think I've got enough static in the Forever Young trays that I could probably make it work to do some of the testing with these drills, even though they weren't really staticky when I kitted them up. I wonder if there's a way to give your drills static. I don't know why you'd want to do that on purpose, but also I like that the way I've marked these, I can look at the symbol right here on the edge of the tray while I'm diamond painting, just so I can make sure I'm not doing the wrong color or the wrong symbol, because that happens way more frequently than I would like to admit. Especially, sadly, when hubby and I are watching TV. I'll look up to see something on the TV, like during a play or something, or if there's a crash while they're racing, and then I look down and I realized, oh no, I'm putting those on the wrong symbol. Not fun. Oh, I did see a good tip for that though. Somebody said if you have to, like if you place a lot of drills and you put them on the wrong symbol, their tip was to use dental floss and just like go to a section where you haven't put any drills and then just drag the floss kind of under the drills to get them loosened up. I bet that works really good. I haven't tried it, but I'm going to keep that in mind for the next time I have to do something like that, because I'm sure I'll do it again. Happened too many times already for me to not think that I won't do it again. Anyway, so there was a tip for the day. So I'm working on a customized bookshelf, and I suddenly realized as I started working on it, well, it was actually before I started working on it, what I had decided to do, and lots of you gave me great suggestions for how to personalize it and the easiest way to kind of go about that. My original intention had been to scan in the section where the books are. So scan in this little section where the books were and see, because someone suggested there's 5 books, so put like our family name here and then put our given names there. That's an option. Somebody else suggested putting like the last names of authors, so like Poe or something like that, which is an option as well. But I was going to basically put this on my computer, on my printer, and scan it in and then print it out so I could kind of play around with the grid, the actual grid that was on the diamond painting. And then I realized that, like a dummy, I have already pulled off all of the plastic cover sheet and covered it all with release paper. So now I can't really see the section where I would need to scan it in. I could pull all the release paper off, but I already threw the cover away. I guess I could peel one off of something else. But this is really long and big, and trying to get it so that the glue is not sticking to the scanner and all of that just, I think, is going to be a nightmare. So instead, what I think I'm going to do is just pull off the cover sheet and the release papers in the area that I need. And then what I will do is just take a picture of it. Then I can print that out and then kind of play around with it and decide what I want to do with it and see what looks better and what I think works the best. But again, I get so ahead of myself when I'm doing things. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then when I get to do it, it's like, oh, I should have done this first. But it didn't work out that way, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. I can even wait until I just get to that section and kind of fly by the seat of my pants with it. But I think I want to see what it's going to look like first. See, and right there, I just put all those on the wrong one. Okay, it's this symbol, not a U. You'd think when I get down to just 1 or 2 symbols left in a section, that would make it easier, but for some reason that seems to confuse my brain even more lately. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, I need to do a stash update. So if you're interested in stash videos, make sure you're set up to get notified for those as well. I know I've finished things in June, so hopefully my total will go down, but I can't remember I bought those 2 Diamond Dots kits, which I think I bought in May, so they should have gone in May, but I can't remember if I added them or not. So got to drag all my spreadsheets out and see if I remembered to include them or not. And if I didn't, I need to update all of my spreadsheets and everything and my numbers so I can give you guys accurate numbers for the stash video. Can't remember if I mentioned I still need to do a goals update too. Made some progress, not as much as I would like, but I think May was better than April, so that's something. And we still have a lot going on. Even though we've been here for a while, we're still trying to get things figured out, still trying to figure out how to navigate all the things, just kind of everyday little things that you just get used to them where you live and you don't really think about them. And then you move someplace else where stuff is different and you're like, like not being able to use plastic bags for my groceries. You have to take in your own reusable bags, which is fine, but it's just hard to remember some days we walk in the store and we're like, oh no, we forgot bags. And everybody has them to purchase, so it's not like we're trying to carry all of our groceries without bags or anything, but just one of those little things that you forget about sometimes. Okay, what else? Talked about my stash update, customized bookshelf, goals update. I don't think I'm going to be doing any events in July. I think somebody said Summer with the Masters is running June and July. I have one small budget kit that is a Muka, so I might pull that out sometime this month just to get it done. And then that would be my last kind of budget kit that I still have hanging on or hanging around. And I can concentrate on some of my other things. But really, I just need to get busy. And I just realized after I got all of these kits open, so I knew this one was around, the Spangler. But then I was like, well, I'd open Blue Girl just because it was smaller. I thought it was square. Nope, it's around. And then after finding the pink lines, it was like, well, okay, I got to deal with these. So before I can work on that one, I have to fix that issue or at least figure out what I'm going to do. So I opened the other one from Bella Art because I have some smaller kits from them. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just open a smaller one and do it. Except the one I opened is, of course, also round. And I don't want to get myself into a situation where all I have left are squares because I think that will drive me crazy. But a lot of the square ones end up being quite large. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. So if you're interested in figuring it out with me, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see what it is we're doing. So like I said, no, I don't think I'm going to be doing anything in particular for July. I might do the small Muka, but other than that, I don't think I'm aiming for any other events. And then in August, we will have our next Diamond Paint Along. I hope everyone enjoyed DP for Pets. I had a lot of fun with it. So we're going to take July off, give everybody a chance to recover. And then in August, our theme will be flowers for the Diamond Paint Along. And I've already seen a couple of people who said they have some larger kits that they've just kind of let languish, so they might break them out. Please do. I would love to be helping you guys find the incentive to work on some of those kind of forgotten or abandoned projects. I know what that's like. My first Heaven and Earth design was Pegasus and the Muses. That one was pretty big and it was square and I wasn't happy with it. So yeah, I eventually just had to kind of put it on my table and keep it there to make myself work on it. So, but it eventually got done. So yeah, I have lots of things in mind that hopefully I'll be able to share with you guys in the next few weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. I felt like the last couple of months I was really focused on working on my stash and trying to get those numbers down, maybe a bit too focused. So I'm excited to have some testing to do and some things to share. So yeah, excited about that. So I made a little bit of progress here, not a ton, but that's okay. This is a new system. I'm just getting used to it. And I think I'm going to have to rethink my filming setup as well because I'm upstairs, which is fine, but I'm on the opposite side from the heat pump. So all the cool air is on the other side of the upstairs, and I'm on the hot side. And then I turn on the hot lights so that I can film and everything. And yeah, just not the greatest setup. So I may have to play with it a little bit. Maybe after I play with it a little bit, I'll do another video about what the new workspace looks like downstairs as well as filming and workspace up here. So leave me a comment down below and let me know If you're interested in that, if you're interested in seeing how I deal with the lines on the Blue Girl project, if you're interested in the static, which one of those are you most excited to see the results of? I'm interested in all of them, but if there's one that has a particular interest, maybe I'll try and get to that one sooner. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around through this. I'm sure, once again, very, very rambly and full of tangents whip and chat, but I enjoy talking to you guys and I love getting your comments and hearing what you have to say. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.